Wayne's impressed with Lucky. Lucky comes, she shows up fully loaded. She's smart. I know he respects that. But also at the same time, he'll entertain her for only so long and then the money.
Where's my money? I don't have it. That's the wrong answer.
I love when a character gets to come in for essentially two extended scenes, but his presence is kind of felt throughout the entire series. For you, what is your approach to a character like that? Do you kind of watch and see how he's talked about or what they're saying about him, or do you kind of focus on when we do get to see this character and kind of the energy that you bring in those scenes?
No, I would never look at it like, how he's perceived, but that's
Mhm.
part of what's, defines on who Wayne is. He shows up in episode two, but before you ever see him in episode one and building up in episode two, there's more than a couple of times where people are like, did you talk to Wayne? Does Wayne know about this? So that tells you so much about like the power that this guy has. And then you put on its, incredible locations like where Wayne lives, the way he dresses are amazing. Costume designer Christina Wada. I mean, talk about a look. That's not a look that I thought was going to be the Wayne or
Mhm.
stereotypical guy like that. But sitting there making this cow shake, you put all of these are all the pieces that come together, and you're like, okay, this is really, before I even think about anything, this is a character that is getting so defined, which is really, which is a lot of fun. And Wayne seems to have a presence. I felt that when I read the first original seven episodes. You see him a little bit in two, a little bit in three, a little bit in five, and then episode seven, which is the big showdown thing. Um, but it didn't matter. It wasn't a matter of screen time. It really was when it's written well and it's well defined. He's Wayne's kind of always there.
What for you is like the thing that really kind of showed you who he was? Because there's like little things that you learn about him, especially when we get that scene between you and Annette Bening in, I think it was episode 5. Like you really get to see the kind of man that Wayne is and what she kind of got herself in with him. What was the thing that kind of really showed you who he is on the paper before you started to kind of dig into him?
It's literally everything.
Mm,
Um, it's everything. It's the walls that he has built around him. He does not get close to the danger in his life. He doesn't need to. Other people do. He stays separate. He lives alone. But also, too, one of the, most of what Wayne does in this series, what I do, Bill, is with Priscilla, and that's character.
mm,
And it's a very odd, twisted, dynamic relationship there with deeper roots than might originally be in you might originally think. And that really I love the moment and in the finale when they're driving in the car to this big showdown and you see other colors of Wayne and you see that Priscilla does have a place. This is you you might not guess that, but he really does. And when he says to her, listen, remember, this is, this was your journey. You wanted this child. I know
mm.
you did. And I told you that from the beginning. And he doesn't scream at her. He doesn't need to, but he just maybe feels like things might have gone a little bit too far for them, even for Wayne. Because,
Mm.
like I say, I always felt from the beginning there is something inside him that has a special place. He says to her in episode five, if you were anyone else, but you're not, you're Priscilla. So you do have a place in my life. Just don't push it.
Like you said, he does make everyone kind of do his dirty work in a lot of these instances, but there is something obviously about Lucky and Lucky telling him, like, you have to come and meet me to get this money if you want the money. But as we learn in the finale, he's like, it's not about the money. Like, that's at this point the least of this interaction. What do you think for him was the draw to someone like Lucky demanding he meet her in person that got him kind of out in public and out in this situation that he normally wouldn't find himself in?
If Wayne has a blind spot, you see two of them a little bit in that final
Hmm.
that final episode. Wayne's impressed with Lucky. Lucky Lucky comes she shows up she shows up fully loaded and she's smart. I know he respects that. But also at the same time, he'll he'll entertain her for only so long and then the money. I go there. Uh, and really good writing.
Well, I wanted to ask you because you have been in two shows that I think deserved a lot more than they got and a lot more time. And it made me think about the small amount of time that we do get to see Wayne and get to unpack this character. And when you're on something that either gets canceled, like Talamasca or the company you keep, or you're just here for a couple of moments and fans kind of want to know more, how does it make you feel as an actor when people kind of either want more of a character that you're doing and want to see more of them in their story, or like it gets canceled too soon and we don't get to explore that anymore? How do you as an actor kind of deal with like people wanting your stories and these characters you're playing to continue, knowing that that's kind of not like what it was in the cards for them?
Well, Lucky is a limited series,
Mm,
I think.
yeah,
But
as of this moment.
as of this moment, so listen, it's in the cards what the journey is with that. Now that's different than the company you keep or Telemasca.
Mhm.
They're shows that were meant to hopefully continue. Was I surprised that the company you keep didn't continue? Uh, yeah, yeah, a little bit. I got it. I got what I thought maybe was missing in the show. I really feel like you could have focused on that dysfunctional family in that bar, and that was great.
Mhm.
But it is what it is. People make decisions. Talamasca was a surprise. I really felt the unfolding of that story to get to. You're not talking about something that was based on a Anne Rice book.
Mm.
It's something about that's in her writing, or is this organization called the Telemasca. I felt like not an easy task for our showrunners on that to unfold a brand new story and tell a brand new story. And I don't think it captured. I just don't think it was as gripping as soon as it could have been.
Mm.
And whatever it was, but that was a surprise. And probably the one thing, if I look back on television work that did not continue, uh, that's the one that I'll think about of, I really wanted him. I knew where they were going for a season two. Uh, Scripts were all written. Uh, I knew where they were going, and it was cool, but just not meant to be.
Well, I'll just always regret it because I love that show. But I do want to ask, because you are, for the most part, the actor that I would look at as that guy when you're watching stuff. Like the minute you show up, I'm like, oh, he's here. It's going to be great. Whatever this character is going to do, it's going to be something fascinating and cool to watch. And I think that is like it's a testament to your skill as an actor, but also a testament to the roles that you choose. What is there any kind of rhyme or reason when you're looking at the scripts for something or a character that you get that really kind of connects you with it? Or is it just something that, like with this show where you said they were really good scripts and you really wanted to dive into it, that makes you be like, you know what, yeah, I am gonna play Wayne in this, or I'm gonna play X, Y, and Z in that.
I have no template for what it is, and I've had a few moments in my journey where I received a script and my agent said to look at this role. It's a really great part in this thing. And I read the script and it's a character that's throughout the entire film, but then there's another character that's got one scene or two small scenes, and I'm like, no, that's the character. Something will speak to me. It's a combination of a lot of things. Who's involved with it? Is it, if it's not on the page, it's not on the stage. Let's just start off there. If
Mm,
it's not great writing, odds are it's not going to be that great. You need top-notch words, like we had on Lucky, start to finish. I never know. I really honestly never know what it is. And sometimes you read something and you're like, I just read a little indie film like literally a few days ago. And there's a small part in there that I read it and I called my reps back and I'm like, absolutely, I'm in. They're like, really? Yeah, really? I'm like, absolutely. I love it. I love this character. By the time he shows up, nobody's expecting it. It's such a beautiful, heartfelt moment in the story. I sure want to play that. There you go. For no money.
Yeah. Like I just want to play. Well, and I wanted to ask about the coldness that exists in Wayne. I know you mentioned that he says to Priscilla, like, you wanted this child, I didn't. Like, I didn't want to be a dad to this son, and that is ultimately like his undoing when it comes to Priscilla, because he maybe could have saved himself if he acted like he cared for 2 seconds. But I love that he is consistently cold in the moments that we do get with him, especially towards Priscilla and their kid. When you're playing a character like that, is that something that really excites you to dig your teeth into somebody who the humanity is almost gone when it comes to things like that for him?
See, I look at it differently. I look
Mm,
at it, I look at Wayne as a person that he's a guy of the streets. He grew
mm,
up on the streets. He mentions a little bit about his upbringing with his father. Life was tough. He got tough, and then he got good, and then he started to control the things that he has in his life, and he wanted to separate himself from the things that are dangerous out there. And I feel like you start to put this together, and this is how he lives his life. But I really think that Wayne is this kind of guy that literally has a code by which to live by. Don't break that code, because when you break that code, that's how you end up dead. That's how you end up in jail. And he's not going there. That
mhm.
surrounds himself with a fortress. He's not going to go there, which gets to the finale in episode 7, and you discover a blind spot of Wayne's. Um, and it has to do with Priscilla and how he feels about her deep down. Don't see it coming. He didn't see it coming, but I feel like that code and a way of living is how he exists. Uh, I could never fathom it, Bill, living a life of crime and danger. Are you kidding me? Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't even deal with that. I look out the window in the morning and there's a tree that needs to be, a shrub that needs to be trimmed, and I got to get on it. I can't imagine people running around with guns and drugs and you know, it's just live by a code and keep it away from you. I think
Yeah.
that's what Wayne's existence is about.
I 100% agree. And it was so fascinating to get to see you play him. It's an honor to talk to you. And I will leave you with this. I go to weekly trivia here in New York, and there's always something on the TV behind us, like a big screen. And they put Armageddon on the last week. And I watched my teammate just stare at the screen. She had never seen Armageddon and just was like fascinated by him. She was like, "What's going on? Are they saving the world?" And we were like, "Have you never seen Armageddon?" And she watched it, like, could not look away from the screen, and I was like, that's the power of Armageddon. So it is an honor to talk to you, and I can't wait for everyone to get to see you in this final episode of Lucky.
Thanks, Rachel. I appreciate it.
So why are we here, Lucky? It's like anything else. A series of bad decisions over an extended period of time.